the Modern Woman tutorials. You're living your best life in the future. Don't live your best life now. Right? It's the idea that is like, I know it's a lot of ladies, when they're in their 20s, they want to live their best life. But don't realize once they get into the 30s, right, hit the wall, well, that's when their retirement starts, right? That's when they start going downhill socially. And you definitely need to have your life put together for retirement, right, for your old age, before you're 30. Because once you're 30, then it's just a matter of, taking care of yourself, your health, right, happiness, right, which happiness is on you first and foremost before you expect it from others, right? If you want to be with a guy or not, right? If you want to, have a career, or if you want to be with a man. Me personally, what I recommend is first and foremost work on getting a man, right? A husband and stuff like that, right? Work towards that, and then on the side will be the career and the job and whatnot. Because at some point you're going to get, within your relationship, marriage and whatnot, you're going to get to the point where you're going to not have much to do, right? Then a job and a career will be helpful, right? So because it gives you something to do. So why not do it, in your older years? Because a lot of the jobs y'all ladies tend to choose, and I'll be honest, y'all tend to choose the easy jobs. Tend to take the easy jobs, so it doesn't require you to be, youthful or energetic to do so. You can do it in your more mature years, especially if it's like a freaking office job or something, or nursing, or being a doctor or something. You can do that later on. Like I said, when you have very little to do, especially after you already had your kids and you don't plan to make no more, so then now would be the perfect time to, have a career. Work from home is what I tend to encourage the most. Why travel to make money when you can, just make money from home, right? You're already going to have a home because you're gonna, be married, right? You're gonna have a husband and this, that, and third. So you can, do stuff that way. Especially if the idea is for you to have your own sources of income. There's ways you can make money without having to specifically have a career. But if you want to get into stuff like, I don't know, politics or be a lawyer or something like that, if you want to get into something because you believe in that thing you want to do, right, then, maybe start a business or something, then that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Just saying is like the idea of pursuing the bag, as they say, pursuing money, trying to live your best life while you're young is a young, childish mentality, not a mature mentality, because the party's going to end soon, right? You're not going to be partying and living your best life for too long. Time is against you, especially you ladies. For guys, it's different. Once we hit 30 and stuff, we're going uphill, not downhill. For y'all ladies, when y'all hit 30, you're going downhill. So in your 20s, in your younger years, you're supposed to be working towards the future you, right? The future, your future goals of what you want out of life, and make sure you have those things in place, whether you're going to be single or not. I obviously encourage not being single because there's more benefits to not being single, right? To be in a relationship or marriage or whatever you want, you want, than to literally be alone, right? To be single. Can you be single? Yeah, you can, but it's harder. That's all I'm saying. It's harder because you literally have to rely on yourself 100% instead of, relying on yourself 50% of the time, or 30% of the time, or 20% of the time. And the older you get, the harder things become, right? Your muscle density is going to decrease. You're going to get more fatigue. You're going to sleep more. Your body's going to hurt more. You're going to go through certain old age, sicknesses or diseases or symptoms and stuff like that. Things like menopause, and the list goes on and on of things you're going to go through. If you're a top heavy woman, right, you're blessed. Yeah, back pain is part of that trade-off. So preparing for that, making sure you strengthen your back, um, you know take care of your health, make sure you don't gain a lot of weight in the upper area to drastically reduce any back pains, and the list goes on and on and on of things you need to do to prepare for the future. That's all I'm saying, is prepare for the future, because when you're old, that's when you want to live your best life. The funny thing is, I see a lot of times young ladies always looking down and disrespectful to the older, mature women. Talking about, oh, you mad because you ain't young no more. You mad because I'm hot, blah, blah, blah. You mad because you old, blah, blah, blah. You bitter because your life sucks, and the list goes on and on. It's like, well, there has to be a certain level of truth to it. But at the same time, it's not, that's disrespectful regardless, right? That's not, these ladies don't understand that that's their future, right? They don't realize that they're looking at themselves. They're talking down to themselves. They don't realize that. And that's why it's important to understand that in the future, you're going to be that older woman, right? That is going to have younger girls, right? Younger females, who look a lot like you when you were their age, looking down on you, looking at you like you're a failure and that they're living their best life and that nonsense, right? But you're going to look at them like, no, you don't realize y'all the failures. Y'all wasting y'all youth. Y'all wasting y'all opportunities. And if you happen to waste your opportunities when you were young, well, you know why. See, right? Experience. You understand that they're wasting their life. This is why you have older women telling younger women, right, what they're doing wrong. It's like, don't do this, don't do that. You need to have more respect for yourself. You need to do this, you need to do that. Because they're warning you. They're letting you know that they used to be you. And look at them now. Don't think that you're special and, just because it happened to you doesn't mean it's not going to happen to me. It always does. Every time I've seen it. Ladies always end up the same pattern. And this applies to guys too, right? The whole point is, yes, we're different in many different ways, right? But we're the same in many different ways, right? We're similar in many different ways. So if you do the wrong thing, you're going to get a wrong outcome, right? Something's going to happen. It's going to commonly happen, right? Cause and effect. If you keep doing, bad stuff, well, no surprise, bad things are going to happen to you, right? And vice versa. There are the exceptions, but the exception doesn't, negate the rule. Doesn't prove that the rule is wrong. So that's why it's important to figure out what kind of future you want. Do you want a nice, comfortable, peaceful, happy, fun future? You might want to plan for that, right? Always have the mindset of you in the future, right? The future you. Everything you do now is for you in the future, not for yourself right now. That's why this whole live your best life now is a ridiculous concept, because it's like you're wasting you're wasting the valuable time you have right now. You're wasting the energy and the strength that you have now, right? The opportunities you have now. You probably don't realize how much opportunities you have right now that are not going to be available to you in the future. A lot of times, great opportunities do present themselves in the future, of course. But sometimes you've already missed great opportunities, great things in your life. You might have met the right guy, but your mindset wasn't right, so you didn't, appreciate what you had, and you overlooked a great opportunity. That's why a lot of ladies be complaining about, like, oh, where's the perfect guy for me? Where's my soulmate? Where's all the good men at? Blah, blah, blah. Not realizing it's like you already met them numerous times. You just didn't respect them. You didn't appreciate them. You were living your best life, so why bother, right? But now, when you're not living your best life no more, right, because there's a limit, Now you're like, oh, where's the man at? Where's the good guy at? Where all the good men at? Where's all these opportunities that I used to have? Why life different for me? Yeah, because it is. It's gonna be different. Life was different for you when you were a child than it is when you're a teenager, than it is when you're an adult, than it is when you're an old person. Life is gonna be different when you're a mother, when you're a grandmother, right? A great grandmother. Like, there's different levels and stages in life. Right now, hopefully you're in your 20s listening to this and you're like, all right, well, gotta get my shit together. I make sure I'm ready for when I'm in my 30s. I'm ready for when I'm in my 40s and 50s and 60s. Prepare for those years, because those years ain't going to be the same as your 20s. Your 30s are not going to be the same as your 20s. Right? Your 40s not going to be the same as your 20s. Shit, your 40s ain't going to be the same as your 30s. The whole point is every 10 years, every milestone in your life, every 10 years, you're going to be a totally different person. Literally, biologically, you're going to be a totally different person. So this idea, mindset of like, oh, I'm living my best life. It's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're wasting the best part of your life, which could have guaranteed you can live your best life later on. Your best life is later on in life, not early in life. Early in life, you have it easy. That's why for guys is opposite, because for guys, life sucks at first, the first couple 30 years of their life, because they got to build themselves up and they got to go through bullshit so they can be strong and capable and skillful. Learn their superpowers, basically, right? Learn their superpowers, their capabilities the hard way. Then when they're 30 plus, then that's when they start flexing their abilities, right? They start doing amazing things, start achieving things because they have the ability to do so. And they developed it through, in their younger years. So, not saying you can't have fun, not saying you can't enjoy your youth. I'm just saying don't waste your youth, just having fun, just trying to live your best life. You hear it on the internet, especially if you're on the internet, you're listening to this on the internet. So you already hear that, constantly being a lot of young ladies in their 20s being told that, you're making mistakes, you're regretting stuff. You're hearing it from chicks that are already 25, chicks that are 30, 40, like, oh yeah, that was me. That was me in my 20s, making those bad decisions, living my best life, and I regret it. I could have done better things, could have done more. I could have took advantage of more opportunities. I wasted a lot of chances to, build a better future. And that's the main thing I'm pointing at is build a better future for yourself. So that way you can live your best life. Right? I'm not trying to tell you, that, like I see this a lot on the internet, this whole like, oh, once you hit 30, your life is over and you'll be unhappy and miserable. It's like, if you don't do, plan for it, yes, it would. But just because, that's, the truth doesn't mean you can't avoid it, right? You can't, prevent that fate. You can change it by making better decisions. Even if you're 28, 29, about to be 30, you still have time to try to, do something. You won't be able to do the same as somebody who's 20, right? But at least you still have some time left to make the most of it. Some ladies, even when they're in their 30s, they still look like they're in their 20s, which is, a bit of a, I'll call it overtime. Lucky for you, you still look like you're 20. Take advantage of it, but don't take advantage of it for stupid stuff, right? Take advantage of the fact that you still look young, right? You still look like you're in your 20s, and try to, grab some of them opportunities to guarantee you have a, brighter, better future. Like a man, I'm gonna keep saying it, you're gonna disagree, but a man makes everything better. A real man, not just some guy, not some guy with a penis, right? A guy with a penis is not a man. A man is a guy who has the mindset of a man. He knows how to be a man. So you need to learn what makes a man, and then pick a man, not some loser, right? Not some guy with a penis, right? Because not every male is a man, not every female is a woman. So that's the thing. Plus, make sure you're a woman, right? Make sure you know how to be a woman. Because most of the ladies that having issues in life tend to not be women, right? Because they don't know no better. They weren't taught to be women, right? They were, so a lot of times they're against the idea of being a wife, for example, because they don't know, you know, the value of a relationship, the value of, you know, having a woman's mindset, womanhood, right? Most ladies don't know about the womanhood. Most guys don't know about the manhood, right? You know, that is a level of the human, the human race, right? You know, you were a child at one point, then you were a teenager or young adult. Started your adult years. Start being responsible, taking paying your own bills and stuff like that. Being self-sufficient, and then eventually, you're supposed to learn how to be a man, a woman, right? Have great qualities, be a decent human being. And most people don't learn to be a decent human being, and that's where you see a lot of the problems in society. A lot of the issues you see in society comes from males and females, not men and women. Men and women don't create problems; they're the problem solvers, not the problem makers. Males and females are the problem makers. They're the ones out here with the body of an adult, but the mind of a child. And that's what makes a male male and a female is that y'all mentally immature. You're not mature. You're not experienced enough. You're not knowledgeable enough to make better decisions. So y'all make bad decisions. And the idea is to not make bad decisions. You want to improve and make better decisions. So that's why now, even if you're 30 plus now, there's less opportunities, but there's still some. You can still make, a better future for yourself. Obviously, money will be a component to that. To be able to afford to take care of, your needs and stuff like that. You also take to account a lot of chicks like to say, "Oh, I don't need a man." It's like, trust me, you're gonna need somebody. I understand the idea of wanting to have like a dog because a dog can protect you. Like, yeah, a dog can protect you a lot like a man can protect you. I get it, but a dog can't get you medical attention. A dog can't administer CPR. A dog can't pick you up from the ground. Like if you fell. There's a lot of things a dog can't do that a man definitely can do. Right? And then there's, the sexual intimacy and blah, blah, blah. You obviously rather do it a man than anyway. The point is that having a man or at least a guy, that can be of help, can be useful, that you can call for help if you need help or be able to ask for assistance. No one says you have to be in a relationship or married, right? All I'm saying is to make sure you have a man, have somebody of the male species that you can call upon, that you can rely on. At least if you're not going to go with the boyfriend or husband route. Guys have their use, even if you don't think so. Or get yourself a very manly woman. I'm not against that, right? All I'm saying is you're gonna need somebody else. At least have somebody else, even if it's not a man, if it's a woman. At least another human being in your older years, because if something unfortunately happens, you want somebody to know that something unfortunately happened to you and will take actions in your behalf, right? Get you to the hospital, or, maybe call the cops, and it's like, oh my God, this person got kidnapped. Let me call the cops and let them know that this, the person's missing, like you want somebody to care about you, is what I'm saying. You want somebody to care about you and look out for you when something negative happens, right? Because I'm always concerned about that. I'm always concerned about the ladies not learning self-defense and ladies not, making sure that they at least have one friend or at least a guy, that you provide some intimacy, just so you can keep him around, just in case you need him for, manly things. Because everybody has their use. But I'm more leaning towards the whole, get a man, get a husband type situation. But hey, whatever works, works, right? Just at least have a plan. Make sure you do things as soon as possible to plan and get and have your future all lined up. I mean, this is the same type of advice we give to guys, like get your shit together, get your life in order. We of course we add the whole and then get yourself a girl, right? Get yourself a woman, right? Get yourself a wife and whatnot. Get somebody to spend your life with, which is better than alone. Well, that's what I be promoting. There's guys out there that keep promoting the idea of like, nah, you don't need females, you don't need chicks. Just focus on yourself. And I don't agree with that. Because one, why? Right? Why not? Why? It's better to have somebody than to have nobody. Right? It's better to have some. It's better to not need and have than to not have and need. Right? Better to have somebody you don't need, but than to need them and not have access to them. Right? So that's just the way I view life. I'd rather have things in case I need them, in case they become important. That's the end of the video.